two friends in fiber coming to you from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada with our knitting and crafting adventures. It is December. It is episode 142.
Yep.
I don't have an allergy attack going on right now, so let's count our blessings. However, it is a Monday night. It's after 6 o'clock. We're both drinking coffee because Diana had a bold party this weekend.
The table managed to win Starbucks gift cards. So we've got some nice Starbucks peppermint mochas.
I'll take fancy coffee. Fancy coffee. All right. I'm Jocelyn. My co-host is Diana. Yeah.
Hi.
We're out of It's Monday night. It's all discombobulated, you guys.
Yeah.
So,
it's gonna be a mess.
Settle in. It's in for a ride. What are we? December something. December the 9th?
9th, I think.
She says. I'll say it with authority. It's December the 9th. No idea if I'm right or wrong on that one.
Either way, you'll be wrong by the time this goes out, so.
It always goes out a couple days later. It's fine. Listen, if we've got this posted before Saturday, the Monday night, we're doing great, you guys. Diana is a very busy creature at the best of times, as am I. In December, her schedule gets ridiculous. For any of you guys who are new listeners to us, there'll be some format changes coming up in the new year after we celebrate our 3rd anniversary together, because Diana will be moving to Waterloo. Her husband moves out in January, so we'll be fiddling around with stuff to make everything work. So the podcast isn't going anywhere. We just have to change how we record and do things.
Yep.
So we've got some changes and stuff coming up in the new year, which I'm currently madly trying to process in the background. So Diana doesn't also have that on her plate to deal with. I'm trying to make it easy for her? Question mark? Easier. Trying to make it easier.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
I have faith that the tech gremlins will attack and
something will go wrong.
Yeah.
I'm still doing Vlogmas.
Hey.
I'm doing it over on my channel. I send the link to Diana.
It is in the show notes.
It is in the show notes last week. Yeah, it'll be in the show notes this week.
Yep.
I'm still working on rounding out the rest of that YouTube page because I hate writing about myself. So I've got that about page still to do.
Write with authority, like you're the most amazing thing that ever walked the earth.
I don't need to be a douche.
And then tone it down just like half a notch.
I just don't know, hey. And that's it. That's all I got. Nothing. You want me to write about other things with authority? Sure. You want me to rant about TV to book adaptations? Absolutely. You want me to talk about book reviews, knitting? No problem. Myself, I'm not interested. I don't know. You guys, I'll figure it out and I'll get it done. I swear. In like March.
I have
I swear I'm going to be putting the tutorial videos for patterns. It's where I'm going to be putting other sort of knitting content so that it's not sort of clogging up the Northern Knits podcast blog or anything like that. So I've got it separated for a reason. So you guys can find other adventures there, which this morning included some slightly awkward angles of my cat trying to help me brush my wet hair. Well, it's really cute. I will catch it. I wash my hair often enough. I should be able to capture it one of these times. Watch, it'll be like the day before Christmas, and my mom will be the one videoing it, so we get the right angle. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. Shall we say what we're going to cover this week?
Sure. I'm drinking coffee.
We sort of already did What's in Our Cup, but we've also got cool threads, woolly workings, yarn on the go, wool gathering, and kniterature.
Because books!
Books! Alright, yes, we're drinking peppermint mochas. We covered that already.
We did, because caffeine.
But we've got cool threads.
Mm-hmm.
You may notice I'm wearing my Find You Fade.
I mean, only if they're watching us. If they're listening to us, they haven't a hot clue.
You know what? They can see the colors through the audio.
Listen, when the day happens that you can see colors through audio, I will be really excited. I moved my glasses. My Insta beer lines moved. Okay, there you go. I'm fixed.
Oh no, I dropped a stitch.
Those are really tiny socks.
Yeah.
Guys, Diana's working on more Christmas ornament stocking sets because she's got Knit Club this Friday, which she has to give these items to us.
I
Plus,
need to do a couple more.
Whatever else it is that she's putting in the gift this year.
I just need to stop dropping stitches.
They're really cute, tiny little stocking socks. So I'm like, dropping a stitch has got to be just a pain in the butt at that size.
Right near the beginning too. I was trying to make one, and I dropped a stitch.
Oh well, I'll take over. My cool threads for the week, until this weekend, we were still sitting at a balmy -8 or 9 degrees Celsius most days, so I was wearing Diana's mitts and the Find Your Fade with my classic double-breasted white winter coat, because I like to think I live on the East Coast, apparently. Which is fine. We have now dipped into the -17 to 20 range before wind chills, and have wind chills, so no snow yet, so I still literally cannot leave my house when the sun's not up, fully. Unless I am going no farther than my local library, which is at the end of the street. Turn left and go down half a block. I can't get any farther because it's too freaking dangerous for me to be walking around. You need like 2.5 feet of snow. Because what happens at like that 2.5 foot snow marker, people shovel their sidewalk. Okay, that's a lie. The city plows the bike paths. That happens. People don't shovel their sidewalks, which, by the way, stern finger shaking. You live somewhere and you have a sidewalk in front of your house and you do not shovel it, this is your stern finger shaking. Go shovel your sidewalk. Go.
You've been told.
Old people need it. I need it. Small children need it. People with wheelchairs super need it. And let's be honest, it's just easier to walk on a sidewalk that's been shoveled than it is to walk on a sidewalk that just has everybody's footpath through it.
This is true.
It's just make everybody's life easier. I shovel all of my sidewalks. When I had houses with sidewalks, I currently don't. We boulevard right out to a street in my house right now. That's fine. I shovel that frickin' driveway, and it's a double wide driveway. Ugh. Too much shoveling. That's fine. But that's my, yeah. Anyway, the bonus to the 2.5 foot snow thingy, which will free me and means I can go to places like the knitting store, which would be nice, because I'd like to go buy some yarn, is I get that, you know, those bumpers they can put up for little kids when they're bowling, which just covers the gutter, so like little kids' bowling balls don't go in the gutter, they just bounce off the...
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I can like Pachinko machine down the between the sidewalk bumpers. It means I'm not falling off curbs, I'm not falling off on like into the traffic or anything, because my cane hits that bumper piece, which is literally where people stop shoveling and the snow starts. But that tells me, hey, this is a no walking zone, which is super important, especially since the last 2 years I've been doing construction out the side of my house, which means the drop off the side bike paths that they repaved is quite intense because they haven't resodded it, because they don't saw it till spring.
Right.
So that's actually a dangerous enough drop that they have pylons set out because of the guys in those snowplow machines that go down the bike path. If they were to fall off, the machines would get stuck, which tells you kind of like a tilt I'm dealing with here.
Yeah.
I cannot do that at night without snow. Otherwise, I fall off. And then at that level, I can break a leg. I could easily bust my ankle. And then I'm out in the dark. I can't identify where I am. And I've injured myself.
That doesn't sound fun.
In -20. Which then becomes... And I'm fairly hardy and a fairly warm person. But then it becomes... I get cold really too quick. So it's like it's a stupid risk. So I need the snow. Love that it's -20 with the wind chill. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. I love me some winter. My winter coat is now officially done up. I now have my rabbit hat on my head, which is literally a fleece hat with giant long rabbit ears. We'll have to take a picture of us together in our winter gear outside.
Yes.
And we'll have to do a selfie for you guys in like January or something when Diana has like breathing room. It'll still be cold and we might even have snow. We'll do a selfie, I promise. And you guys can see the return of the rabbit hat. And my shawls are tucked up, but I had to let Diana's mittens go this weekend. I had to put them away. The Diana mitten season is over. The hardcore heavy-duty white mittens with the rubbery grip on the palms have returned.
I'm just having a bad time with these stitches.
You really are. The only other thing I've been wearing is my mallow, which I tuck under my sweater, under my coat, which is really nice. So I'm like, I'm definitely gotta finish some sweaters because they're really nice to have on this time of year. We get some crud done. I also just want to get stuff done because we're almost out of 2020. We're almost into 2020. We're almost done the century. Last year of the century.
Century?
Well,
Decade.
Decade? 2000 to yeah, right, 20. Yeah, decade.
Decade.
Oh.
Not quite that
really
big.
Frightening. Really frightening. We're almost at 2020.
Anyway, what I was gonna say before I started dropping stitches off my tiny socks was that I got to wear my Find Your Fade out and about this weekend at a fancy party. It was my fancy party shawl because it went so good with my dress. I'm gonna put this on Instagram later for everybody But
Is that you in your dress?
it is. I'm trying very hard to make it. There we go. It's kind of focused.
She found a good party dress. We're all really happy.
Yeah.
It was smexy without too much smexy.
I had like this rainbow sequin chevron dress that worked really well with the Chevron-iness of... Is that a word? Chevron-iness?
Well, listen, I was making up words earlier today, so it's fine.
Went very well with the Chevron-iness of the fade, and then all the colors went with all the sequiny rainbow colors. It worked so well, and I was so happy.
Can our title be Chevron-iness?
It absolutely can be.
Can I know how to spell that then?
No, because I don't know either.
It'll just be whatever it is you choose to spell it like. Canon. That's how we spell it.
Chevron-iness.
Oh. Ooh.
Sure.
I
Totally
reheated
is.
my coffee. Totally worth it.
Moving right along. Woolly workings.
I have more things than you, don't I?
You have so many more things because the other thing that I was going to work on while we recorded so that I wasn't dropping stitches everywhere, I forgot to bring more yarn for because I finished the ball I was on last week and I forgot.
Oh, bad podcaster.
I'll just do my one thing and then you can just talk. I'm cranking out more and more tiny socks. I have only 3 tiny socks here with me right now. These wee tiny socks are so sweet. I love these little tiny socks. 2 of the socks are currently residing on a plushy LED that I got in my Ada box on Friday.
Yes, I saw those photos. You need to crop or just take a photo of just him sitting amongst your knits with his socks. Like nothing else. Just him like sitting on your knitting chair with like his knits and stuff. Like we need that photo. I need that photo. I don't know if the internet needs that photo. I need that photo.
The world needs to see this photo of a plushy LED wearing tiny hand knit socks.
Yes. It'd be better if you could figure out how to make it so it looks like he's knitting a pair.
Oh, he doesn't have arms.
See, I don't know.
I can wrap him in a scarf. That's about the best I can do.
That'll work. Does he need a sweater?
Maybe. Actually, the sweater would be about the right size. See, I should have brought him and then we could have dressed him up and I didn't think of that.
Bring him tomorrow because we're going to record tomorrow and I will make him a little crocheted sweater.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I can knock one of those out during a lunch break at work while I'm working, so that's totally fine. I can crochet him a sweater.
We're going to dress up plushy bits of electronics.
Yes, we are. We're adult. I swear. Sorry, I got us derailed because there's a really cute LED plushie.
So freaking cute. I got all this cool like electronics with like Bluetooth enabled multicolored lights and screens and like actual legitimately cool electronics, but the highlight is this plushy LED that fit the tiny hand knit socks that I've been making.
Sometimes.
You know what? Whatever. It's the little things that just delight your inner soul.
Absolutely. At least I think so anyway. So yes, you're making more socks. How many more do you gotta make? There's 5 of us. Well, 4 of us. We had an extra add-on. Most of us are making a gift for anyway, even though we don't have to.
I'm just gonna make as many as I can, but I think everybody's getting a pair, so I need 4 or 5 more.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, and they take less than an hour to make. Like, I'll probably finish this one before we're done recording.
Sweet. Perfect. All right. I am slowly plugging away at my niece's sweater. It is the Flax Light by Tin Can Knits. It is currently in the highlighter pink color range. That's not actually what the color is. It's an eye searing pink from Manos de Uruguay. Uruguay. Listen.
Uruguay? I don't know.
It's been almost 3 years. If you guys didn't know, I can't pronounce nothing. Given Diana recommendations for an anime, and it's a 3-letter word, and I'm pretty sure I pronounced it correctly. And I could be wrong. That's who I am, people. Oh my goodness. I had nothing but troubles when I started this sweater, because I was just, it's a very easy sweater. It's a beautifully well-written intro beginner sweater pattern.
But you have to count to 2?
No, I have to remember every other round to purl in a small section to make a garter bump, which could not for the life of me manage. So, fine, we're going to have a singular seam up one shoulder side, because I'm going to knit it flat until I get to the shoulders, which slows me down because I'm not as fast at purling as I am at knitting. Go figure. Which is fine, because I'm no longer messing up that garter bump. So what it is you can see here, or here as I'm talking to you, I did my little rib. I've got like 4 rows done, guys. It's fingering. There's no difference. There's not when you do 4 rows of fingering. So what happens is on each of the shoulders, there's this tiny little garter, like 20 stitch section. It's a free pattern, I can tell you guys this, where you do a garter bump, and that sits right on the border, like right on the tops of your shoulders. Looks really cute. Like, it's super sweet and cute and little. I could never remember when I was knitting it in the round that every other row I had to purl that little section instead of just knit. I'd forget. This way, I don't forget, because I very distinctively have a front and back side, which changes it up. It means these 20 stitches are the only 20 stitches I'm knitting all the time, which is fine. Seems to be working a lot better. I'm not making mistakes. I didn't have cast on problems. My rib is still awful, and that's fine. It is what it is. I can't manage rib in a bulky. You guys will see in a few seconds. It's a hot mess. So it's got nothing to do with the pattern. The ribbing is all me. So I'm slowly making my way through this. I keep hoping to get farther than I'm going to get, but that's okay. I've discussed it with the mum. I've discussed it with the grandmom, which would be my sister and my mother, and we've all agreed that I'll just wrap up whatever I've got done with a little note that says, I owe you one finished sweater. Please hand back the project. And whatever I get to at Christmas, it'll just get boxed up the night before, and then I can work on it Christmas Day while everybody else is opening presents and things. So I generally get the smallest amount of presents because I don't need a lot of things anymore. So I tend to get like a handful of cards with money.
That works.
Which I am so okay with. Not like super fun. My sister and brother-in-law bought me a David's Tea Advent calendar for my Christmas present this year. Yeah, done.
Yeah.
I'm so happy with that. It's not like, yeah, no. I'm like, I mean, you'll still see it at Christmas, because Christmas Day I'll be drinking one of my Advent teas. So that'll happen. Like, you're good to go, guys. It's fine. No worries. But otherwise, I'm like, I'm in my late 30s. Like, if I want a book, I buy it. If I want some yarn, I go get it. If, like, my hobbies and stuff, I sort of just accumulate on my own. So I don't need anything, and the bigger items I tend to just save up and buy on my own. So I've gotten to that boring stage in my life where I'm not so passionate about something that I need to have it right now or I'm going to die. I'm okay going, no, I like that, but I don't need it. Some things I need and I make myself wait for because I don't want to deal with the craziness that is dealing with that. Shane Dawson's Conspiracy palette.
Oh, yep.
I knew it was going to be big, so I said, nope, I'll just buy it restock, which will be restocking just after my birthday or in April.
Oh, perfect.
So I feel like perfect birthday present for myself. I'll just get it then. So, I mean, I'm doing other things. Like, I'm making arrangements right now. I think my Christmas present to myself this year will be either just before or just after Christmas. I have a girlfriend who knows how to make soap, handmade soap, and she's not able to do it anymore as much as she used to because of health issues. So she offered to teach me soap making. So I'm going to go learn how to make soap. And if I enjoy the process, I will buy her supplies off of her. So she's not just got a hobby sitting at home that she can't do anymore, which is insanely depressing if you struggle with health issues. Insanely depressing. She'll never be well enough again to do it, is sort of whatever it is for her. It's a degenerative disease. So, like, she'll never be where she once was. So getting used to the new normal is the big thing to do. Like, you saw me do it with my books this year. And I get harder and harder. Like, I purge more and more of the physical books because having them identifies me as a book lover, but at the same time, I can't read most of them anymore. So it's hugely depressing because I used to, but now I have to do a lot of it electronically. I mean, bonus, as a child, I was taught to learn to walk away from things I love because I would never be able to do them again. The fact that I can still read is huge. Huge. Yay, tech.
Yay.
As much as I yell at it. Only passwords, people. 3 times this month. Three times this month. The password itself hasn't changed. It's just no longer accepted from me. Oh my god. 3 different things. Poor guy who runs the Blood Bowl website. It's just, he knows I'm cursed.
You keep breaking the Blood Bowl server. That's impressive.
I know. Every year it starts with, hey coaches, don't forget to sign in and build your team, and then it follows up with a private message to me, hey, I reset your password for you. Thanks. Didn't believe me till I had another person. Now, an ex, we were together at the time, watched me try to put the password in. After watching me reset the password, knew exactly what the password was. 2 days later, couldn't use the password.
so weird.
And it's completely random. I don't know when it'll decide to change, or when it was like, you've seen me, I've had to change the password on some of our stuff from time to time because it's decided, nope, you don't get that anymore. Well, no. Not happy, people. Anyway, I'm making progress on this. I find this really boring because I can't just go roundy real fast. Does that make sense? Like, I'm excited when I connect for the sleeves because then I can just go roundy and then I don't really have to pay attention to it. I can do other things.
Yeah.
Like if I'm really into the book I'm listening to, or if I'm really into the anime that I'm watching, I can't work on this because it requires too much thinking, which is weird considering it's a stockinette sweater, but whatever. Let's talk about finished items.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm gonna put something on my head. It is massive.
I like it.
I'm serious. If you want one as a Christmas present, you should have to tell me now.
I might want one.
My sister put in a last minute request for this. I said, well, if I do this, I'm not finishing your pot holders. And she said that was perfectly acceptable exchange. On my head, I have the elf hat. It is a free pattern from Bago de Crochet. It is a crocheted elf hat at approximately 42 inches in length. From your brim to your pom-pom on the end.
It is a hat with a capital H.
It is almost 3 full skeins of worsted yarn by the time you're done, from your brim to your pom-pom. It's a lot of yarn. It's a lot of crocheting because this is done on I did this on a 5mm hook and a worsted weight yarn. It is an easy stitch. Like, it's a 2-row repeat. It's a free tutorial pattern, guys. It's a 2-row repeat, and the secondary row repeat, which is where you get your nifty little ribbing, is the same stitch I'm using on the web blanket. So I can do this stitch in my sleep.
Okay.
Which is super good because it requires no thought. And you do so many inches, or so, well, she says so many rounds. I did it to so many inches because I can't be bothered to count rounds. I'm lazy. At the standard set, and it's 70 inches, 70 stitches to cast on. I went to 74 stitches to cast on because I find a 70 stitch cast on is a bit tight for my head. And I got a slightly fat head. So I mean, like, you'd be fine with a 70 stitch cast on. Same with my sister, which is fine. And then you do it 70 stitches around for so many inches in my case, or so many rounds. I think it's like 24 rounds or something. And then every other row you decrease by 2. So by the time you're towards this end here where I went a little, I didn't want to get into like a third ball of the red heart soft red that I have. So I pulled out the white that I'd been using, which is a red heart soft white yarn. And I striped the last couple of rows, which I think looks really cute. Really pretty. And then I literally have this random skein of blue, white, soft, fuzzy stuff that's just a pain in the butt to crochet into itself. Like, you could crochet it into a regular yarn, but if you were to crochet it into itself, there's no stitch definition at all because it's so fluffy and soft. So I was like, nope, this is not going to work for me. So I used that, and I did a little brim trim on the bottom, so we get a little fluffy on the bottom, and cleans up that cast on edge because crochet cast on edges can be quite sharp. So can a long tail cast on, if we're honest, guys. And then I did a pom-pom by myself by holding the red heart soft white and the unnamed blue soft fuzzy yarn because I have had it for years. I don't remember what it's called. And I made a giant pom-pom for it, so I literally have one end to weave in.
Have you woven it in?
No. You can't tell. It's fine. However, having said that, oh my god, it's coming off my head right now because I'm too warm.
It's a very cute hat, though.
It's so much fun. Am I keeping this one? Probably not. I'll probably give it to my niece. Why? Because that's where a lot of my weird stuff goes.
Your niece is knitworthy?
Oh, she's totally knitworthy. She will love it. And, well, she's hard on her stuff right now, and if she wears this, like, as an outdoor hat, I want Mom to be able to wash it.
Right.
And as much as, and I love wool items. I hate waiting for them to dry.
Fair. I think we all do.
And I already have to wash my undergarments by hand, and a lot of my shawls by hand, and some of my mitts and my hats by hand. There's just being able to put your hat in the washer and dryer, I think, is underrated in the handmade community. It's the same with, I'm working on some socks, house slipper socks for people. And I'm going to add them in because I wanted a way to use up some of my worsted weight yarn. So in the spirit of finished items,
Oh, it has to go on my head now?
It can go on your head, and you could actually wear it like a proper hat if you wanted.
Oh my goodness.
Or you could pile it on top of your head. You know, whatever you prefer. It's red, it's white, it's very Christmassy. Super Christmassy, you guys.
Ugh.
It's huge. Like, getting it on is a thing. And it's still, and my pom-pom's still giving off fluff, because I literally trimmed it yesterday.
I love it.
You know, I walked out and I showed my sister. She's like, I want one. I'm like, okay. I can make you one. That's not a problem. First time through, it took me 4 or 5 nights working on it for like a half hour to an hour every night. Or on my lunch break. So it's like, technically it's not that long of a project. I just sort of split it up.
So
I can work on other things. There's excess hat. You don't know what to do with it. It's crazy. It's a lot of hat.
What's that? I can't hear you through this hat.
Brim's not that thick.
Stunningly sound quieting, though.
Well, yeah.
I'm very impressed.
Yeah. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. It's a video tutorial. I don't know if she's got a pattern tutorial for it or not. I never looked. I was happy with the video tutorials, so that was totally fine. Who was that I saw was talking about it, that she made the hat and she loved it, because it wasn't Bag O' Day. It was Debbie from the Canadian Crocheter. That's how she pronounces it. She'd made one. I loved it. And that's where I was just like, oh, I like Bag O' Day's tutorials, so I have to go look. All right, let's talk knitting. No, yes.
Maybe.
Like that. I have actual knitting and a knitting podcast. Who knew? I'm not done by any long shot. All right, I have a lot of bulky yarn. I always buy enough for a project, and then I tend to buy myself a spare ball. I still would prefer to have leftovers than not enough.
Yes.
It's just, why would I stress myself out? So I have these random balls of worsted weight, bulky weight yarn. I'm gonna hand you the ball band because I can't read worth a darn. And I was watching Cozy Up Knits, and Jamie was talking about this cloud slipper pattern that she had found that she was enjoying making. She's found another one that's got a similar format to it, slightly different construction technique, but I like the cloud slippers, so I'm going to keep making these. So I've been making some cloud slippers at night. I've been pretty tired the last couple of days, so I haven't been doing as much as I normally do. So I am going to keep making slippers. Awkward cut later. Let's go back to talking about my slipper. So, because I didn't know how much I was going to use, I made the tiny one first, because like, I know somebody who's got a size 6 lady foot. The size 5 to 7 lady's foot will totally fit her. So I made a pair. And you knit it flat, and it looks like this when you're done. And then you literally fold it in half and sew it up and cinch in your front toe. And this has worked out great, because I've been... It's not sick. It's the same tired I get every month. But it sort of affects you the same way. Like, it's hard to focus on anything. So the hat was a lifesaver, because I could just work on it, not really think about it too hard. This is another one where I didn't have to think about it too hard, and I could literally be done a slipper in a half hour. So if I was only going to be awake for a little bit, listening to something, I could do this on a podcast. So why not?
Yeah.
So I have now made 2, of which I've only sewn up 1 foot of each. I made one of the small lady size, which is the 5 to 7. Because I've got a girlfriend I know that'll fit. And then I made the next size up, which is technically supposed to be a lady's 7 to 10. But I wasn't sure if it'd be big enough for me. And I was like, well, I'm going to make it anyway, because if I find it's a touch too short, Diana's foot's a bit smaller than mine, so it should fit in there just fine. So I have technically knitted Diana 2 slippers. I just have to sew up the second one.
Cool.
So these are in a dark green bulky yarn from Loops and Thread.
Earth tones.
Sure. It's a green tweed. But the added benefit is it's acrylic, which means you want to wash this, dry this, and then put them on your feet fresh from the dryer warm.
Ah.
And when you have cold feet, I am told that is a lovely, lovely thing.
I do frequently have cold feet.
Fresh from the dryer warm socks.
Best feeling.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So Diana's going to get these as part of our Christmas present, because I was figuring out if they'd fit me or not. I decided they wouldn't. I was like, no, I'll do it for Diana. So I'll make the men's medium, which is the next size up, for my size ladies 10 plus foot. It's like 10 to 11. It's somewhere in there. So, but I literally started making these Friday night. And we're now Monday.
Nice.
So I can do a pair in one night if I sit down for like an hour, which is approximately the length of some of my podcasts. So a lot of the history ones anyway. Not Dan Carlin. Dan Carlin is
knit a whole
whole
sweater.
beast. Dan Carlin is a minimum of 4 hours most times. Usually like 5.5 to 6. And that's one of however many parts. They're knit flat. I'm knitting them on a 10mm size needle. It's big, it's chunky, it's fast, and they are quite squishy comfy. So I'm super excited. So the next pair I'm going to make are going to be for me. Because I can. You might not get these till... Oh no, I'll get these to you as soon as I can. Because you're about the same size as what my mum is. My mum's just a touch smaller than you. Which means this medium size will fit mummy.
Perfect.
I knit my mummy some house slippers. Which is good because she's constantly wearing slippers in the wintertime. Alright. And you'd think, Justin, you've got to be done. No, I'm not done. One more finished object. Why, you won't put slippers on your head?
No, not really.
No, not really?
I don't think I need to put slippers on my head.
We are finished!
Ooh! Wait, I want to see the front side.
Am I showing the front side?
No, that's the back side, actually.
Haha!
Aha!
Here we go.
That looks so good.
So, Jack's playground is done. This is the slightly smaller version, which I like to call the regular size person version. Pattern is officially out to test knitters now. I like a massive shawl, but I understand that it's not for everybody, because for some people it can be quite overwhelming. So this is going to be a gift for one of my aunts. It is washed, it is blocked. I just need to trim off my ends, and it's going to get dropped in the mailbox for her, so she should have it before Christmas.
Nice.
So I have finished a shawl. It's out to test knitters. Hopefully I can release it in January when I'm done the second bigger version for myself. Because why would I make myself a small shawl? So this is going to be my new pattern. The lace weight version has also gone out, so I also need to cast that on. Though if I'm honest, I probably won't cast that on until after Christmas. So, well, no, I'm not planning to release them until January, so yeah. I won't cast on the two finished ones till after Christmas. I think I'll work on getting some stuff finished until then. So this one is it's out of some acrylic, but that's just because my aunt specifically has some wool allergies, so I said I would knit her something that wouldn't be scratchy or itchy to her. And she likes the blue and white enough that she almost took the Jamie shawl that my mom got. And that wasn't going to work for my mom, so I told my auntie just leave it alone and make one for her. So I've made one for her, and now that I've shown it off on the podcast, it's going in the mail. We're done.
Ah! Almost made me drop a stitch.
Don't drop a stitch. Alright, that's it for finished objects. For keeping track, that is one pair of slippers, one giant elf hat, and a shawl I finished this week. Could you imagine how much of my sweater could be done if I just crouched down and worked on it? So much. Did I? Nope. What did I do? I cast it on a new thing.
I'm turning the heel on this little sock that I started when we started recording today.
It's miniature. It fits an 8-inch plushie.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right, ma'am.
They're very satisfying.
It's fine. I
It's
get
like,
it.
I don't even need stitch markers for this fish lips kiss heel.
I loved making those little toques. I made like what, 8 toques?
They're just so satisfying.
Just whoosh, and you're like, oh yeah, so good. Then I have a very naked Christmas tree. I have to decide what I want to put on it.
It is looking a little bare.
Well, I keep breaking the glass ornaments and the plastic ones, and we argue, and I'm just like, enough. I'm moving to a handmade household. I'll just hand make the stuff for my tree. What am I thinking? This is totally the right term.
That way too.
It'll be squishy yarn stuff. So, I like a big loopy cowl, like the loop twice cowl, with like big, extravagant, fluffy cowlness. Pretty sure that's not the right wordage to use, but that's the wordage I'm going to use. You see them in all the magazine. It looks like the poor model's head has been taken over by this cowl, and she has no shoulders. She just has her head and cowl.
Yes.
I love it. But it's really hard to find in a size that fits me, because a lot of them go and they do stitches and they fit normal. They fit slightly shorter height people and slightly less wide people than I am. I'm just probably just a touch too tall. And in my case, for my neck ratio circumference, it doesn't, when I do them at their stitch count, it isn't quite enough for me. So I can wrap it twice, but it's quite snug and then it feels quite binding. So I was like, enough of that. no pattern. I just cast it on 180 stitches because I knew 140 was too short. So I figured an extra 40 stitches would make it nice and drapey and big. And I'm literally doing 2x2 rib and a bulky. And I've already managed to mess it up.
I like those colors.
It's literally a Vanna's Choice blue, worsted, and the DK ice cream in a green. Because I'm just working on stash stuff. So I have another ball or two of the Vanna's Choice in the blue. So I'm literally just going to make a ginormous, fluffy, worsted or bulky cowl for myself.
Nice.
So I have to take back some stitches because I definitely messed up my ribbing somewhere. Only about like 60 stitches ago or so. So
Only.
That's fine. Well, if I get it ironed out now at the bottom, because I've only got, 2.5 inches done. It's a bulky, so that's like an hour's worth of work, guys. It'll look better because I can just tidy it up. I won't go back 2 rounds. I'll just go back to where I messed up this round. Tidy it up and make sure I'm good to go, and then go from there. So that's fine. And working on that is sort of my... When I get home from swimming and I'm like having my cup of coffee, eating my toast, listening to the last of the morning radio program and stuff, that's when I sort of tend to work on this. So I'm not quite ready to start work for the day. I usually start work around 8 a.m. But I want to be doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the cat's freaking out because I've left the house.
You think she'd get used to that eventually?
No. I go swimming 3 times a week. She's still not used to it, guys. Alright, I am done talking about my knitted stuff. That is it. I'm out of things that I have knitted or crocheted. I think that's a lot for 1 week.
It is. I knit one little foot of a sock and I've turned the heel. I will finish this before we've finished recording.
I am going to pull my hair up in a ponytail though. Cause
oh no, my hair keeps running away from me. Come back.
I
found a cat toy.
Why wouldn't you find a cat toy?
I'll just put that back.
Because it's a house with a cat. Cat toys abound, people.
Oh.
My favorite is when I roll over in the morning and there's like 6 toys on the other side of my bed.
In the bed with you?
I was like, when did I take these to bed? How drunk was I?
Well, you might have gotten bored.
Apparently. Or I wake up and she's sleeping surrounded by her toys. And whatever her current favorite is she's like wrapped around it in a death grip. I'm like, okay, don't move that toy. That's like her sleeping buddy. It's her teddy bear, yeah.
Aww.
It's the little blue bobbly bird thing that was on the end of the stick.
Oh, okay.
She still really loves it. I need to find another one like that.
Okay.
They're so hard to find. It's just, yeah, that's her favorite right now. Unless there's a spring on the floor. You made these little plastic cat springs.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the sturdiest of things, and sometimes I end up sweeping them up and throwing them out because, I mean, for me, they're hard to see. I'm sure they're easy enough to see for other people. But they roll well, and they bounce, and they spring, and they're a great playtime toy for her. But keeping her in them is hard. Harder than keeping her in mice. We finally reached a stuffed mice quota.
Oh, good.
So that's good. So now I need to find, like, the spring quota. Because we got, like, the right number of balls, rolly tube things. Now we get the right number of spring things. She's got too many toys. But she's not food motivated. So getting her to play has got to be something interesting to her.
Right.
I tried the cat treat ball. Could care less. Could care less. She knows treats come out of the ball. Doesn't care.
Huh.
Just doesn't care. She's not interested in the ball. She's not interested in the treats that come out of the ball. It's technically a feeding ball. You put the food in, they roll it around, and they get pieces of kibble.
Right.
So they have to work for their food.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Does not care.
Doesn't care. She's not interested. Or things that make sounds. Nope. Nope. If it does anything more than crinkle. Not interested. It's just a weird cat. But if it's a Kleenex box, she'll put her front 2 feet in it and it race across the floor.
What a strange creature.
Yep. Or your knitting bags.
She loves my knitting bags.
She loves Diana's knitting bags, which
She
are usually swag bags.
She loves this cord.
Yeah, you could probably go home and ask your mom for a length of cord and tie some knots.
She doesn't have any more of this cord. If she did, I was totally gonna just like tie knots in it.
Yeah.
And, like, here's half a dozen knots of shiny frayed cord. Enjoy, cat.
Go to town, cat. No, she'd be super stoked. Weird cat. Anyway, she's my cat. That's fine.
Oh, where are we at? I think
we're done with Woolly Workings.
I believe that brings us to Yarn on the Go.
I didn't really go anywhere interesting. I was supposed to have my first dentist appointment. It didn't work out this week. That's totally fine. It means they get bumped to the new year because they're closed the week between Christmas and New Year's.
Right.
And the next 2 appointments are timed. They have to be done within a set number of days between each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I have to have that finished up in the new year, which is, I mean, not ideal, but it's fine. What I have is a semi-permanent replacement right now, so it's fine for the next 6 months. And since I will be dealing with this in January, a month later is not going to do any damage to the tooth or the replacement. So
Good. Good.
yeah, also frees up a little bit of budget money.
Also good.
Not bad for this time of year. Since my mother made my Christmas wish list longer, I'm like, I'm done Christmas shopping. 1st of November, my mom this weekend. Can you go do some Christmas shopping for me? No, it's fine. I don't mind. Every year it happens, guys. That's why I get mine done early. And I always get those last minute gift requests for handmade things. They always sort of roll in this time of year. Yeah. I was like, yeah, but if I'm done all of my actual stuff, then I've got time.
That's fair.
Yeah. Nobody wants to hear me talk about going to chiropractor.
I had a whole bunch of parties. Well, no.
Did you knit at them?
A little bit.
Good. Well, so, if you didn't knit at the bold party being one of the head of the crafting group, I would be sad. Sad.
I have 0 pictures of any of this, but I wanted to show off that I got nail extensions that I'm sure everybody's like, your nails just look normal. This is a normal length for a nail. And yes, but this is the longest I've ever had my nails, and I'm really excited about it. I'm very excited about my nails. I think they look very nice.
Well, I think it was last week we were talking on the podcast and you were worried about your gel nails being delicate, and I might have laughed at you.
They're absolutely not. If these things come off, my finger has come off.
Yeah, no, they're there.
They are there.
I wasn't lying to you. They're there.
I got
they go nowhere.
This polish is like an enameling process, so like it is not chipping. It is not going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, when I stopped wearing gel nails, I had nails up to here. Like, I had those nice long French tip ones. Oh, yeah. You just get used to doing things with them, and I miss them.
Big thing with these is that they're so much thicker than I'm used to, and they're also smooth on the ends, so I can't, like, get the same kind of purchase that I'm used to.
No,
and so I'm like, scrabble.
Yeah, it changes how you use your fingers when you're doing things, because it definitely changes that sort of stuff. And it changes how you use your phone, too, so...
It does. Yeah. My phone, I have to be slightly more sideways with my thumbs. Yeah. The thing I found most annoying, which I absolutely did not anticipate, using the Magic Mouse at work, the Apple Magic Mouse, trying to scroll on it.
Oh, that's a whole other thing.
It involves a straight down pointy finger, which I can't do because my nail is too long now. That has been the most annoying thing so far, which I thought typing would be annoying, and I had to make a couple of modifications, but the mouse is just the most annoying thing.
It's always the little things.
Yeah.
For me, it was not being able to scratch my head.
Why can't you scratch your head?
When I have the gel nails on, because they're too rounded, I can't get a good scratch going.
Okay. Fair enough.
And, I mean, it's only really a nuisance when my scalp's dry, but when it is, you want to scratch. Or you have, like, an itchy side of your foot.
I've actually been finding that they're great for that, because they're just, like, they're long and they're thin, but they're not, like, scratchy. They're nice and smooth. Anyway.
I like to scratch.
I've been enjoying them. Because I'm sure you wanted to hear us talk about fingernails for that long.
That's fine.
But I also went and got my hair done. You may notice it's a slightly different color.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, my camera's good, but you don't do drastic changes, so...
No, it's the same color it's been before. It's just, it's fresh now, and I got it done all the way down this time.
Okay.
Because I hadn't done that in a year. So the length of it is all the same color now. It's nice. I guess it looks red in this light. Under some light, it looks purple, more like my glasses.
That's fair.
But then it was the bold winter party on Saturday night, and so there was...
The prerequisite, her and her husband looking like an adorable, good-looking pair of couple, which I, of course, made my prerequisite face out when I saw it on Twitter.
Yes, we're disgustingly adorable.
You're disgustingly adorable, the pair of you. Ugh, so gross. Keep doing it.
Oh, we took a group photo with my the whole team that I work with, because I work with, like, my team's like 14 people now. We got really big recently.
Huge, yeah.
And we're all like, we all look really good. We're a good-looking team, like an uncommonly good-looking team of developers. Like, I gotta say.
These are all pretty people. Yeah, I almost went, what's with all these pretty people? This is gross. Why is this on my Twitter feed?
Because we're being
Social.
team-building-y and social and...
Look at you people socialing like adults.
Yeah! We like to pretend.
Oh, we all do. We're honest about it. Oh my goodness.
But we did a little bit of knitting there. It was me and one of my friends from Work Craft Club were sitting there doing some stuff.
Good.
And I, of course, wore my fade shawl and went nicely. So much crafting. Oh, and then on Sunday was the step-nephew's birthday party.
Yeah, he's 17 now?
He is 17 now.
I asked his uncle. His other uncle. Well, it's because his other uncle was over playing Magic on Friday night. I was talking about the birthday party. I'm like, it's not in the middle of the Sunday afternoon. He looked at me, I'm like, friends with Diana. He's like, right. Like, she married into the family. It's right in the middle of recording time. I will know when the birthday parties happen. He's like, why is it in the middle of the day? I'm like, because most people don't work on Sundays, dear. Just you.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not true. A lot of people work Sunday afternoons. So...
It's the culturally accepted people
not-
aren't working time.
Not that family. So...
Anyway. So there was more knitting time there, and the nephew wanted to paint Space Marines with Uncle Christopher.
Of course he did. The younger nephew?
Yes, the little nephew, the 7-year-old nephew.
Yeah.
And then the 4-year-old niece wanted to paint too, so I was painting rocks with her.
I love painting rocks.
It was kind of fun.
Like smiley faces and flowers and bumblebees.
I painted some bold rocks so they could be paperweights at work.
Oh, jeez.
They had the perfect colors for it.
Ladybugs.
I was feeling very uncreative when I was wearing my bold sweater. I'm like,
Nook shooks.
I don't think I know how to paint in a Nookshook.
I can teach a 4-year-old how to paint in a Nook shook. I can teach you to paint in a Nook shook.
I'm sure you can. Unless I'm being difficult on purpose, which is sometimes entertaining.
So if you're being difficult on purpose, I will look at you and ask if you need to go have a nap.
You know what? The answer might be yes.
Yeah, I know. Unlike a 4-year-old, you won't tell me no.
I might try.
Yeah.
I'll probably listen to you sooner, though.
Yeah, well, yeah. When it comes to nap time and toddlers, it's about everybody listens faster than the toddler.
Do you need a nap? Are you tired?
No,
I'm not tired! Because you sound pretty tired. I'm not!
Dry rubbing, the whole 9 yards.
Uh-huh.
We may or may not have been around small toddlers in our lifetime. My favorite is, I'm not tired. I'm like, of course not.
Uh-huh.
Wide awake. To bed with you.
It's a good time. Oh, and not that I knitted at this, but I had my 3rd burlesque dance class last night.
If you could knit while burlesque dancing, that's a
You know
skill
what?
set, Bob.
I kind of want to
How many more do you have of those?
Just one more.
Just one more? Okay.
One more next week. It was just a little 4-class Christmas pack. We do a different Christmas song each week, so this week was the Mariah Carey All I Want for Christmas.
Oh, I have that on my playlist.
Yeah. So we were doing all this like fun group choreography, and there was a lot of consensual leg touching that I was not expecting, but it was very interesting. It was a different sort of group choreography, which is exactly why I'm taking burlesque, because it's a very different sort of dance, but it's a very different sort of dance.
For the record, we've been friends for over 6 years. We're quite good friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She doesn't even hug me.
I don't
Never mind.
initiate hugs. I don't tend to initiate physical contact.
Never
I just
mind.
don't.
Touch someone's leg. She doesn't know. She'd be uncomfortable touching my leg. She was telling me about this. I was laughing because I was just like, oh man, you must have felt so awkward.
Oh, yeah, but we all did, so it was fine. It was the same level of awkward all the way down the line.
Would not have bothered me in the slightest.
Hey, I'm doing better than my first class.
That's
I
right.
tried to do something sexy and I fell over. So just have that mental image. Like, I was standing front and center too because I was into it.
Hey, listen,
and I
at
tried
least
to do something and I just boom on my ass in the middle of this
At
class.
least I called it. It was a hair flip that had gone wrong.
Yeah.
It
was
was
like
a lot of hair.
Yeah, I got smart after that class and I kept it in a ponytail because I had it in a bun that class, but I was trying to do this like stuff around I was trying to do like this hair touchy flippy stuff.
It's hard to do when your hair is a bun.
Yeah, so I took it down, but then I've got like 4 feet of hair, right? So that
That's
was
a
just
lot of hair.
too much hair, and I was
Too
trying to
much
whip
hair.
it, and it,
You could injure somebody.
oh, I injured myself. I had whiplash all that week.
I
So I got
should have
smart. I got smart
But
and I
my
put her in a
imagination
ponytail.
is so delightfully colorful. You know my imagination. Oh, it was a wonderful text to get. And I just...
I tried to be
was
sexy
just-
and I fell over.
And I went, oh boy. I started laughing. And I think my reply was, there's got to be a GIF for that. GIF, GIF, whatever you call it. I don't care, guys. I can't see them for the most part.
I kind of wish there was, actually. It would have been really funny.
That would have been hilarious. Oh, goodness. All right. I'm sorry. I just...
Oh, no, it's absolutely hilarious. That's why I'm telling this story on the podcast.
You see me sometimes in the winter. We go walking, and then all of a sudden, I'm not walking anymore. I'm sure it looks great from your perspective, because all you see is like a leg go up. And I usually go, woo! Timber! Or I land and I go, Jocelyn down! Hello, Snowbank. Did you miss me?
Yeah, so that was not knitting related. It was just a fun thing that I've been doing.
Well, I should always do fun things, especially this time of year. We'll get way too stressed about things. I'm going to the mall for fun this week.
For fun? What is this fun?
I'm shopping for my mom. It's really fun.
Okay.
Oh, I did tell my dad when he comes into town that I tried the new shampoo and conditioners from Lush that I was sampling.
Mm-hmm.
And that Daddy had to take me back to Lush because I wanted them. And he said, okay. They're just really nice on my hair, and they're not heavy or weighted.
Okay.
They smell amazing. So I got the right amount of moisture, so my head didn't feel dry, but my hair's not overly greasy all the time. So I'm literally going to finish the last of the stuff that I have here at home that I'm already using. It's not bad stuff, but then I'm going to go to the Lush stuff.
Nice.
Which is good because they have a recycle program for their bottles.
Oh,
so
even better.
I can recycle the bottles, which is far more eco-friendly than what I'm currently doing, which is recycling my bottles, but the recycling programs in Manitoba are just awful.
They're called recycling programs.
We can't even recycle glass in this province.
Are you serious?
No, glass is not recyclable.
Well, I've been putting non-recyclable things in the recycling bin then.
There's a lot of things that aren't recyclable. Like, you can recycle your cups, but not the lids. Like, just...
I did know that one.
There's
not the dark colored lids.
Not the dark colored lids. Light colored lids you can, but
so
not the dark colors.
Starbucks lids are good.
Fine. Yeah.
Tim Hortons ones are not.
Not good. Yeah. It's dumb. It's dumb. I'm like, we don't even have a proper composting recycling program. You freaking kidding me?
Composting program, do we?
Nope. We live in farm country. Can you explain to me why we don't have a composting program?
I would totally do that if that was a thing.
I'm going to have to start composting on my own because compost is great for your gardens and stuff.
Yeah.
But we have no composting program in this province. We're what, 80% farmland? Like, are you freaking kidding me?
I sense a business opportunity.
I don't want to be the person who does composting professionally. I just want to participate in a composting program. There's some things we don't have because we're just not big enough. We don't have the population for it, and that's fine. There's some things I get, some things I don't get. I'm just like, bah.
That seems like a thing we should have.
I feel like composting is a pretty basic one we should have. And a proper freaking glass recycling.
I am shocked by that one. I thought glass was just universally recyclable.
Nope. You have to have a proper depot drop-off for them. Because they put them in the big bins. So they come by and they pick them up in the big recycling bins. And they dump them in the trucks. So all your glass breaks. So that it becomes a sorting hazard.
Right.
So
what are you supposed to do with it then?
It depends on where you are and who's got the program for it. I don't even think we have a glass recycling, warehouse depot. I don't know what it's called. Where you would process used glass. But you can recycle your beer bottles and cans. You take them back to LCs once you're done with them. You get credits for it. Or at least you did in the early 2000s when I worked in an LC.
I'm going to have to look up the recycling rules for Manitoba. Or, well, Winnipeg specifically when I get home now.
Well, I mean, you might want to worry about what the ones in Waterloo.
Well, yeah, I'm still here for a few more months. I might as well get it right.
So just...
For, like, the last 3 months that I'm here.
It's crazy. It's crazy. All right.
Weird.
Done.
Okay, moving along.
Mini episode rant complete. We're trucking along just fine, guys.
Okay, wool gathering.
What are we talking about in wool gathering?
The Patreon hangout.
Ooh, that is not this Saturday, but the Saturday after.
Yes, it is the 21st at noon Central Standard Time.
Mm-hmm.
Come hang out with us on Google Hangouts if you support us on Patreon.
Absolutely.
Patreon is a method of signing up for a... Does it do one-time donations? I don't remember.
You can do one time or a monthly. Most of our wonderful Patreon supporters are monthly, so they do it $1 donation that they can afford. We have different tiers set up. I keep trying to get the last of it ironed out, and I've been having problems with the video upload, as usual.
Anyway, if you donate $1, then you can hang out with us on the Google Hangouts on December the 21st. It's just, Patreon's just a nice way of supporting content creators that you enjoy.
Yep, we've got a couple of goals set up. When we reach specific dollar amounts every month, we'll do additional stuff, and I'm trying to figure out how to get it so that we can post our videos there early.
We'll figure out this tech thing yet.
I will get there. I have no tech background, guys. I have to Google everything. I think I had to Google the other day how to cancel something. Like, I am not tech savvy, so this is a really high learning curve for me.
And this is not the sort of tech that I normally do. This is like marketing tech,
yeah,
so it's completely different. It's
way
like
outside our field of
the difference
knowledge.
between baking a cake and like frying an egg. Like, it's
super different.
Yes, they're both in a kitchen and they use heat, but it's pretty different.
Yeah, and that's fine. It's just we beg patience while I learn, because there's only so many hours a day I can have that damn dude on the computer talk to me, and then I'm tired and I don't want to hear his voice anymore. And I want to do something else.
Clearly, they should use like Morgan Freeman's voice or something for those.
I would pay somebody to have Morgan Freeman as my digital voice for my screen reader.
That'd be amazing.
And I would be okay.
Somebody please get on that internet.
Somebody talk to Morgan Freeman, get him to do it through NVDA, which is a non-for-profit organization that does screen readers, and they also do adaptive technology for third world for visually impaired people, which is why my screen reader is NVDA, so that when I support them, it's donating towards helping kids and adults in third world countries have access to adaptive technologies.
Nice.
That's why I support them. They also do it in like a ton of languages. And they're always working on doing it more. They're actually a pair of Australian guys who started the company. So like,
cool.
That's why it's I get what I need, and I can help support the community for people who can't, which I feel is huge, huge, huge. Because why wouldn't I? It just makes no sense. Otherwise, so no, that's what I do. But yeah, that's why I do NVDA. I mean, technically, I got it for free to start with, to play with, but I've donated to them now, so.
NVDA. I will link to this in the show notes.
Oh yeah, it's
in case
great.
you would like to learn more, because this is fascinating.
Also, it's free and you donate a little bit. You set yourself up and you want to blog and you don't want to read it. You just roll your screen over, turn them on, and he just reads the blog for you.
Nice.
And when I am making my lunch is when I'm doing my blog reading, and he's reading the screen to me, and he just reads the screen, and I make lunch. So it's helped me work more efficiently.
Nice.
Which is good, because you've done all of that time management efficiency readings this year.
Yes.
Whatever words.
Productivity
reading, yeah. Yeah, I was listening to the radio on the way this morning, and I left here late to go swimming this morning, so I didn't leave here till after 6. They were talking about the 5 a.m. club, which is apparently a thing. People get up and just with like early risers get more done, and all that product efficiency sort of stuff that's been going on. Because apparently Mark Wahlberg has a 4 a.m. hashtag club thing on Twitter, and he says he gets up at 2:30 in the morning to exercise, and I'm like, that's too early.
That's not getting...
But that's the wrong story. He goes to bed at 7:30, which is why he gets up at 2:30 in the morning to exercise.
You can be productive at any time of the day.
You just have to find your time of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not giving up my 6 a.m. I get up, it's quiet.
I've been doing 5:30.
Well, I still...
It's early.
5:30, and me, not always, but 6 o'clock I can consistently do. Get up, feed the cats.
Consistently doing 5:30, so I can be at the gym for 6:30.
Do the cat feeding, turn on the radio, leave the house, do my swimming 3 times a week. But I'm home, I'm settled, I'm exercised, I've breakfasted, because that's a word. Caffeinated.
It is, I think, actually.
I think it is a word, yeah. And I'm sitting down at my computer, and I'm working by 8:30 in the morning, and there's no rush.
Same, yeah. I've sat down at my desk with my coffee at 8:30, and I'm working.
And it's so nice.
Yeah, it is.
Sold you?
Yeah.
Totally. 2 years ago, you would have definitely argued against this.
Definitely would have. Heck, 6 months ago I would have.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think 6 months ago I did.
Yes, you did. We've had this argument, and I've been crazy. But I get it, because, I mean, like, my mom and Mr. B are night owls. They're just better at night, which works great for my mom, because in my quiet time when I visit my mom, which is when I do my work emails and my other things and stuff, is in the morning. So I get up and I have breakfast with my dad, and Dad goes to do his things, and I put her around, or I go for a walk or whatever. I settle down and I've done some work and I've done some crafting. When my mom rolls out of bed at 9 a.m., I'm ready to go do other things. Like I've gotten all of my work stuff done and out of the way, so Mom can get dressed and we can go, because she doesn't like eating breakfast right away. So we can get up, we can go to the mall and do stuff. And about the time we get to the mall or doing other things, and I'm looking for my second cup of coffee for the day, Mom's looking for breakfast, which is about noon. So we sit down and we have lunch. Like, just fine. But it also means me and Dad go to bed earlier, and then Mom's got that 2 or 3 or 4 hours that we get in the morning. She gets that in the evening, where nobody's awake in the house. It's quiet. She can do her own stuff. She's got her downtime, which is just, it's just finding a balance.
Yep.
Yeah, which is awesome. But yeah, they were talking about an expert lady about it, and she was discussing, you know, sleep cycles and finding the right sleep cycle and things. And I'm just like, I think it's just have a schedule and stick to it for a good length of time. Then you can add a flexibility in a little bit, but you got to stick to it for that first little bit to really sort of get into a comfort zone.
For me, I'm doing it because if I don't do the gym very first thing in the morning, I can come up with a million excuses not to.
That's why I've taken to swimming first thing in the morning. Otherwise, I find reasons not to. And then Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I do my yoga in the morning.
Monday through Friday, since there's a gym at work, I just
go to work,
and go to the gym.
I would too if there was a gym at my work. Oh wait, I work from home.
Well, I mean, the pool's just down the road.
My pool is just down the road and around the corner.
Practically the same thing.
It's
not the same thing.
It's not the same thing. But it's a 12-minute walk from the house. So I mean, right now it's closer to a half-hour walk, but I'm walking in the dark and I have no snow, so like I have to go really slow, which is fine when it's not -20 and you have wet hair. I was a little chilly coming home this morning.
Yeah, I bet.
I had my rabbit hat on. Saved the day. I don't want to stand and wait to use the blow dryer because I always blow fuses. Just like braid it really tight, like not grandpa braid tight. My grandfather, my mom's dad, when he was alive, used to braid show hair for horses, like so, like he could braid your hair like it wasn't going nowhere. I cannot braid that tightly. I do not have that many years experience braiding horse mane here, but I can get it up and it stays. So I did it up in a nice tight French braid, and it sits really close, and I can tuck my hat on and I'm fine. Okay. Hat, shawl. I mean, my hair's a little crispy, but I'm not that cold, so. Not for a 20-minute walk home, it's fine. And it'll be less time once the snow flies.
I'm sure the snow is coming soon.
Gosh, I hope so.
It's December, it's got to be coming soon.
It's late.
It is late.
It is late. Well, now we babbled on and on about why getting up in the morning is good.
Yep. It's good if it works for you. Honestly, I naturally gravitate to being a night owl. I like nighttime better.
Oh,
but
that peace in the morning, I can't give it up.
Life works better for me if I just get up in the morning, so.
I can do late.
I'm a fake morning person.
A fake morning person?
I'm a fake morning person.
That's fine.
It's working for me.
Good. You'll also find that discipline is great when you get out and you're working remote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you get all your jitters and whatevers out.
Yeah.
So you're just relaxed, focused, get on with your day.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've waxed poetic about the 5 a.m. club.
Excellent.
Wool gathering. The podcast anniversary is starting on January 1st.
We had our first post with a picture of yarn and the sweater choice made.
Excellent.
So pretty. Cannot wait. Such gorgeous color. So stoked.
So if you would like to join in to celebrate our 3rd year of podcasting, which will be in March 2020.
Yeah, next March. 4 months from now. Less than.
Okay, I need to stop trying to cast off and talk at the same time. If you would like to join in, we are knitting adult-sized sweaters by Tin Can Knits.
Any adult-sized sweater.
Any adult-sized sweater. Any pattern you like by Tin Can Knits.
Well, everybody likes different things.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm doing the flax.
I'm going to be doing the harvest cardigan.
So starting January 1st, whips are welcome as long as they're 50% or less complete.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to start it now because you're like me and you take way longer to knit a whole thing, I'm totally not going to finish in 3 months. It's not happening, but we already knew that, didn't we?
Well, I don't know. You'll be a bachelorette for the first time ever.
This is true.
because your
don't know
husband and
that
you'll be
that'll
living
help.
in different
I'll
provinces.
probably wind up going, I don't like it here, it's too quiet, finding things to go out and do.
You can always come over here.
That's true.
Yeah. We can
And
make
then I will knit.
Yeah.
Haha.
we
look at
can
that.
make a weekly date night that isn't podcasting. You can come over and I can cook dinner and we can sit and chat and knit.
Discuss the weekly anime.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, and then I'll also be helping you pack, so there'll be nights when I'll be meeting you at home
This is true.
and helping you pack, so
Alright.
we've got lots of friend timing to spend
Perfect.
together.
Oh, I got a new board game, by the way.
Oh,
that
good.
We shall have to play at some point.
Absolutely.
I talked about it on the podcast before. I'll tell you about it later.
We'll swing in, we'll get Mr. B.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll have a night with the three of us, we'll sit down and we'll play.
Sounds excellent.
Because your husband does not have time before he leaves.
No.
He is out of time. I
He
would
is.
love to include him. He is out of time.
We'll play in January.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
He's played it before. He knows how it works.
Oh, good.
I also don't think he likes it as much as I do.
That's fair.
It's a game about making potions. I'm super into this.
Me and Mr. B both love silly games from time to time, so it's totally fine.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's all I had written down for Wool Gathering.
That's really all we have was the Patreon, and then everybody's gearing up for the podcast anniversary, which is exciting. I'm not going to participate in the 3rd annual Mystery Knit Along from Cozy Up Knits this year.
Are you feeling okay?
I am.
It's a Cozy Up Knits thing that you're not
It's a
participating
Cozy
in?
Up Knits thing. This will be my first time I participated in their 1st and 2nd. I mean, I failed both, but I participated, and that's the important part, people. I don't have time. I've got too much coming out next year, and too much going on. I don't have the time. So
Don't you say that every time you come across a knit along?
I do, and then we have to realize that this year I've got all of my funding grants in, so I might actually make it to university this year.
Ooh.
And if I do, I really need to make sure all of my patterns are ready for releasing before September.
Right.
So I really just physically don't have the time.
Okay.
I'm also got an Etsy shop opening up, and I've got a couple small business things in
Okay,
for things coming down the pipeline.
That's,
So like,
okay.
background work wise, I don't have the time, because if I get into school, I have to have all of the other stuff humming along on its own.
Yeah, all right.
With into maintenance mode, and not a bunch of I need to do a bunch of researching for what it is that's going on mode. So I don't have time for MCALs this coming year. So I would love to, I just don't have time. So I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll wait, and if I love it, I'll just buy the pattern anyway. That's what I do. I just can't do the MCAL part of it. Well, I couldn't do it with the Stephen West this year either, and I mean, I'm still buying that snowflake pattern. Yeah, it's on my Make 9 for 2020.
Ooh.
I'm making that freaking shawl. I'm making it.
I can talk and do a cast off at the same time.
No, you
I
can't.
absolutely can.
But you like to think you can.
I do like to think I can. I think
That's okay. We're on to literature.
We are on to literature.
Okay, so the Expanse series. If you guys aren't tired of me here and talking about it, I'm almost done. I'm just started Tiamat's something.
Wrath.
Thank you. That's book number 8, so I only have like one more to go after that. So
Jocelyn is now ahead of me. You may recall that I've been reading this series for like a year.
I've been reading it for almost 2 months now.
So Jocelyn's officially beating me.
I am. Book 5 was not my favorite. I don't think I'd ever reread it. And by reread it, I mean re-listen to it. And the gentleman who narrates it is amazing. And I get it on Audible. But book 6 had all the feels. And at the end of book 6, you're like, yeah, go humanity, banding together, it's good.
Yeah.
But a third of the way into book 7, you're like, facepalm. Oh, humans. You're such dumb monkeys. So,
no spoilers, I'm just coming up to that part.
Humans are dumb monkeys is not a spoiler.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a statement of fact. Humans are dumb monkeys.
Whenever I finish one of those books, I'm like, yeah, everything's in such a good place. I'm just going to leave it here.
Nope.
Everybody's safe.
Yep, nope.
But then you have to start reading the next
book,
one, and then
just
stuff
disaster.
happens.
And you're like,
yeah.
baloney butts. So I finished book 7, and even though technically, while I've got it started yesterday, I think. The 3rd task of the Triwizard Tournament has started for the week, so I actually have to stop reading book 8 and do my challenges for the week as quickly as possible, which is fine. I haven't picked them, so I need to do that tonight before I go to bed, which also fine, which is why I was like, hey, can I have real coffee? Guys, it's my time of the month, and if you don't like talk about menstruation, I'm sorry, but it's a thing that happens to at least half the population on the planet. It wears me out a lot. Mostly because I've got the one ovary and her. She's doing as best she can. And I find the dip in hormones quite exhausting. Like, post-bad cold flu exhausting. You just got that bone weary tired, but mine goes for like 4 or 5 days. So I'm trying to vlogmas, so the days are paired, because I literally am awake for like 6 or 7 hours in a stretch, and then I'm sleeping for close to 10. Should wrap up tomorrow. I mean, it's usually only the first like 2 or 3 days where I'm really bad, and then it's not as bad, or I'm not as tired.
Tiny sock.
I'm gonna get you to write down the numbers for me for that. Because I feel like that would be really cute if I made like a little garland of tiny socks to go around my tree. That would be super
sweet.
I think that'd be really cute.
I just increase up to 9 and do a fish lips kiss heel.
That's fair. Okay. I might be able to do that.
Tiny
Or I could do them on worsted so I could see the stitches. Because it'll just be a double-sized sock, which is still a cute little sock.
Yep.
Oh, see, thinking. Anyway, I got distracted. I was talking about books. So, loved book 7 so very much. Because you got the dumb monkey issue. And then you end book 7 and it's on a freaking cliffhanger. So I could not wait. Could not wait. Book 8 had to happen immediately. So book 8 is happening. All the drama that's happening in book 8, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. And you're like, no! Because drama. And now I have to put it down and read other books for a week, which is going to be so hard to do. Having said that, I've already listened into chapter 15. So like, when I'm awake, all I'm doing is listening to audiobooks. I am weeks behind on podcasts. I am at least 2 weeks behind on YouTube channel stuff. I'm barely watching an anime a week. Like, this series has consumed my life.
Oh my goodness.
And I enjoy it so very much. And I'm a hardcore fantasy person. I dabble in science fiction, but I'm a hardcore fantasy person. Hardcore fantasy person. What I like is his ability to balance the science with the human story, which it's a really fine balance, and I find most science fiction authors can't do. They fall too hard into the science, and they don't balance enough of the part that I'm actually interested in, which is the people. Don't get me wrong, I'm still amused to have everything in metric. Still delights me. And you have to finish it, because it's somewhere in book 7 right now. I have passed a point where they describe what red kibble is.
Oh, and we need to make this?
Well, I'm not sure if we can, but we both wanted to know what red kibble was, and now I know. But I don't want to tell you because it spoils it, but yes, there is a descriptor of what red kibble is.
Okay. Synthesize something or other, I'm sure?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously we can tell it involves a bean, or a yeast, or a fungus of some format, because everything is beans, fungus, and yeast. Or vat-grown beef. And I mean, we're not doing vat-grown beef. So
no, not yet anyway.
Not yet. So that is what it is. They also deal with the aging aspect for the main characters.
Oh, yes.
And they describe how that works. Because if you've read the series, you know that they start off in like their late 20s to like early to mid 30s for most of them. There's a couple of off characters that are older that aren't like that primary core nugget. But as they go through the books, they obviously age. So it deals with that aging process. Yeah.
They're very interesting. The stories are very, very human.
They deal with honest things like, you know, like, look at it, like, should they still be doing it after so many years? Because, you know, like, they're not spring chickens anymore. Like, the pilot starts in his middle years, starts off in around my age range. Well, with book 7, you have like a 20-year jump or something. It's like a 30-year jump.
I think it's 30.
Yeah. Like, he's in his 60s. Like, so they discuss how, like, you know, they've got obviously the advancement in medicines, and they'd have the advancement in anti-aging, because we're always very worried about that. But they have honest discussions, like, you know, like, should I still be doing this? Like, this is the age range where, you know, other people are, where they run the risks of stroking out during certain flying maneuvers because it's hard on the body. So I'm like, well, good. I'm glad that we didn't just brush over this. They change how the descriptions of the characters are. They, you know, they add the age lines, they add the graying hair and the receding hairlines, and, you know, like, they add all these things that make an older human rather than pretending it doesn't exist, which I super appreciate. Super appreciate.
Very well done series.
Yeah, very happy with it. Still hate the TV show.
That's fine.
I was a 15-minute rant I cut out last week. I ranted for 15 minutes on my
impressive.
my distaste on the casting for that show.
Wow.
Holy Hannah. I usually only rant that hard about disability things.
All right, so downvote for the show, but major upvote for the book series?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Noting
I'm
I'm completely biased and prefer books anyway.
It's fine. I have been distracted from my reading of the Expanse series.
That's only because you didn't read your Christmas book from last year.
Yes. So there's a book club at work, and we did a book exchange last year, and we've all come around to this December going, hey, did anybody actually read their book? And like 2 people were like, I did, and the rest of us are like,
Yep. You're gonna madly read that book about magic cats, are you?
I'm gonna madly read a book about magic cats this week. That's what I'm doing when I go home. It's called The Book of Night with Moon. I have so far read the prologue.
Cool.
It explains about the language of cats.
Good.
And how they have something like 37 vowels and no consonants.
That would make complete sense for me.
Yeah. And also there's a lot more body language and how it's a lot of sub-vocal sounds, and they really only meow for humans because...
They really do only meow for humans.
Because humans are stupid, and if you just speak loudly and slowly enough, eventually they'll get your meaning.
Anybody who's owned a cat goes yes right now. She sits there at the end of that kitchen and goes, meow. And I'm like, okay, it still doesn't change the fact there's no tuna in the house right now. You go ahead and keep yelling at me that I've opened up a can of diced tomatoes, therefore you get tuna juice. Like...
You should give her some of the tomato juice.
I offer her cans of chickpeas all the time. She turns me down. Unless they drop on the floor. Then they roll great and she'll play with them for a while. But it should... Yeah, no, you get that meow.
I understand.
Yeah, I do. No, it's one of those things that, yeah, cats really only meow when they have humans. Yep. They don't really do it in feral communities with each other. So they're treating us like kittens. That's what it is.
We're children.
We're children. Okay, you gotta get up. It's time for breakfast. It's time to go to bed. That sounds about right.
Yeah, it totally is.
What kind of weird behavior are you doing? Why are you in the shower? It's wet. Get out. Like, yeah, that's entirely what my cat does.
Makes a lot of sense.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so
they
I'm reading
purr for many reasons.
Reading that one right now. But my audiobook of choice in the car is The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks.
Oh, you're still going through that one?
Yes, it's due in, I think, 5 days now.
Oh boy.
And I'm not quite halfway through. I need to read faster.
Yes, you do.
I think what this means is I need to do more chores around the apartment so that I have more audiobook listening time.
That makes sense.
Seems like a win-win. Audiobook listening, clean apartment.
You also got your family coming over for Christmas, so there's just more cleaning to do right now anyway?
My parents are hosting this year because we're packing.
Oh, that's right.
And it just seemed much less stressful if we didn't have to pack and do Christmas.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So don't have to worry about that this year.
We're hosting. I'm not even remotely stressed.
Nah. Anyway, yeah. So The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks is a little bit about... So Henrietta Lacks is the woman whose cells are immortal. She had this cancer and they took some of the cells and they just reproduced themselves in a lab, which is apparently really, really, really difficult to do. And so these cells just keep reproducing themselves, and so they're super useful to be able to ship all over the place in the world and be able to do all kinds of crazy experiments on, and it's advanced medicine so much and blah, blah, blah. HeLa cells, HeLa cells, HeLa cells. So it's a little bit about that, but mostly it's about the woman and her story, like her life, her family, her background, and like the history of her, and how it all just sort of got left behind because the doctor just kind of took her cells and didn't tell her or her family or anything, because it was totally fine for a white doctor to just go, hey, colored person in the free ward, I'm just gonna take your cells.
What decade was she alive in?
Oh, it was the 50s.
And it was perfectly socially acceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also aware that colored is not the appropriate word. It's the word that's used in the book because of the era. And, yeah. So it's an interesting sort of examination of race in the role of medicine.
My DNA is just kind of out there in the netherworlds too, but it's in the 20s, like 2000s, so they had to ask my permission.
Yes.
And I had to sign a whole bunch of forms.
Yeah, consent, informed consent, I just learned in the last chapter, was not a thing until...
much later.
Somewhere between the 60s and the 80s.
Yeah, much later.
Like, crazy late.
Yeah.
Like, it was considered a bad idea to give your patients all of the information because it might panic them unnecessarily.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which is so much not how things are now, because they tell you everything and
Listen,
all of the minor complications that might maybe happen.
Listen,
and...
I would be okay knowing less. I'm sorry, I did not want a description of what the doctor was going to be doing inside with my ovaries. I did not want to know how that was going to work. I did not want informed consent. I just... Cool.
Tell me the bare minimum I need to know to consent.
Where I need to go, when I need to show up, and if I need to pack an overnight bag. That is what I want to know. I don't want to know what you're doing on the inside of me. Not new.
But you know now.
Oh, I knew like 3 months before my surgery. So I had 3 months worth of going, oh my god, he's going to do what now?
Yeah. Oh, I
don't
feel ya.
Tell me. I don't want to know.
I feel ya.
Just fine if you want to know. I don't.
I think most people do want to know.
I don't want to know. I go into these eye tests and they're like, we're going to do this. I don't care. Just, are you poking me with anything? No, then just don't tell me. Just
bare minimum, high level. What is the bare minimum I need to know?
What do I need to know to just function through this? Cool. Don't tell me anymore. The rest of it just grosses me out. Please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't. I don't endeavor to gross or freak people out when I can avoid it. I've met people who are really sensitive about eyeball issues. Your father-in-law is one of them. And I try to be very sensitive about it because it grosses some people out. Some people get really weirded out by it, and I spend as little time as possible around those people because I know it creeps them out. That's fine. It's healthy to be creeped out by things.
Yeah, for me, it's just...
respect my creep out level.
For me, it's just like certain descriptions of medical procedures just make me super lightheaded and like on the verge of passing out. So.
It's gross. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't want to
I don't even think it's all that gross. I just like my brain can't handle the mental imagery it conjures up.
Nope. I just don't want to know.
I don't know.
I don't want to know. There's so much in my life I know that I could have done without. Thank you.
We were talking about books.
We were.
Yeah. The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks is a very interesting read. It's a very interesting read. It's been, I guess, slightly more challenging because it's like, it's about a black woman, and you'd think it wouldn't be all that much different from a book about any other woman, but it is. And it's like, oh, wow, I am an ignorant white person, and I feel bad.
Just keep in mind the placement and time of history for it, which also colors a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because you get a lot of people who will look back, especially farther back in history, and they'll be like, how could you have possibly, like, what kind of sane human being would have gone to a gladiatorial match? Because our level of acceptable public violence is far different than a Roman's level of acceptable public violence.
Yeah.
It's just an entirely different culture. So putting your norms on something that happened in the 1950s is very sketchy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, very interesting read regardless, and it doesn't... It's
doesn't
flirty.
Make what happened to her correct. It just means you have to be aware.
I will warn you, it's on the edge of... some of the medical stuff is like flirting on the edge of what I'm okay with. So if you're like sensitive to that stuff like I am, or more so, then maybe don't read this book. But if that doesn't bother you, then absolutely read this book. It's very interesting.
I mean,
I think that's all I had.
You still need to read No You Can't Touch My Hair.
Yes, that is on my list as well.
That's a very good book.
I do want to read that one.
No, for me that's it for nurture, because I'm not sure what else I'm reading this week.
Okay, cool.
And how many challenges I'm just going to not complete so I can finish book 8. If we're honest, guys, we know it's going to happen. I have to know. Okay. I think that's it.
That is it.
Oh, all right. Well, in which case, I will say until next week, I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
And no matter where your week takes you, don't forget to knit. You hit the stop button.
Cheesy grin.
Why?
I don't know why.
Why?
Because I had coffee.
Okay.